does, this is just an idea, you can go wherever you want with it, but how does the transformation of one's own life affect the world situation? Or does it? Is that a myth or is that true?
No, I think it is.
Does it even matter?
I think it is true. I think it is true that these battles are won metaphysically, one person at a time, one choice at a time. We pulled ourselves out of barbarism as a race. We've pulled a human race. We've pulled ourselves out of just horrid conditions. We've at a huge cost. We've created civilization over thousands of years. We've got to recognize that it took us 1,000 years to build it. It won't fall overnight, but we've got to be stewards. We've got to be individuals who recognize the need to save the collective civilization, right? As individuals, as not part of some bigger collective movement. So it does matter. And going back to what I said before, why is the concept of God so important? Because as you said, it gives us a framework, it gives us boundaries, it gives us hope, it gives us a model. And that model, certainly in Western religion, has been the model of the individual. The American government was founded on individual liberties. These are the things that have made us rich and prosperous. We have to start doing a better job teaching our kids those things and quit apologizing for them and quit letting the public school teachers and the universities apologize and lie for what has made us civilized in the way that we have become. If we can do that, we can pull it back. But right now, the mechanism of all the schooling is not in the hands of us. It's in the hands of social utopian dreamers. And so as long as they have unfettered access to our kids and we can't be bothered to try to fight that back, then we're going to inevitably lose.
It's going to take some kind of depth of consciousness and awareness too. And I think what brings that to mind is that what you're arguing for is specifically giving up your life for the greater good. And that's exactly what the bad guys are saying you have to do. So the difference between the two is not that, because they're both saying that. It's what they mean. One of them says giving up your life for the greater good means following a tyrant. What you're saying, it means following an inner purpose, no matter what's going on the outside, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right. Looking inside for the truth, as opposed to conforming to some abstract truth of the collective, is what keeps you human. It allows you to keep your identity. And it's the story, isn't it, of every dissident who stood up to the regime, every Solzhenitsyn, every Mother Teresa, every warrior who fought against the kind of every Schindler, right, who fought against the collective groupthink that became so devastating and so destructive.
Yeah, and they were actually doing it for the collective.
That's right.
Just not from the same point of view.
Well, and what they all had in common, they were doing it out of religious motivation, right? Out of the divine, out of an emphasis of the idea that sacrificing self for others is a greater thing than sacrificing somebody weaker than you for your own advancement.
Yeah. And you have some potential inside you that's not just a piece of meat to be eaten as a sheep.
Or fangs to eat sheep.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the highest thing to aspire to.
Right. No, in fact, that's the lowest thing. That's the jungle, right?
Yeah, and eventually all the wolves die in that philosophy anyway.
And they all do, and because there aren't enough sheep. There are too many wolves and not enough sheep. And that's exactly what happens, right?
They have to eat each other then, I guess.
Exactly. They become cannibalistic. Once you've eaten all the sheep, you've got no one left to eat, so you see what happens then.
Yeah, interesting. So, and what would be really nice, I think, is since there's a very tiny group from what I've seen at the very top of this whole structure that's behind the scenes and not ever talked about or known who they are, the hearts of those people need to be changed in order to change the whole wave of the system on Earth. And I think that could be done by anybody, if you become totally a vessel for what's supposed to flow through you, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. And so, it's amazing how sophisticated we are in terms of technology. We can go to the moon, we can fly across continents, but at the core, these are all just simple battles between good and evil, aren't they? There's good and there's evil. It's amazing how postmodern culture has tried to pretend that those words don't mean anything. But when you scratch the surface of all of these events, you really do. You see that which is evil, that which is selfish, that which is exploitative, and you see that which is good. That which is self-sacrificial, that which is other-directed. And however you try to mask this through all of this cultural dialectic, the fact is that those things are still the poles at which we have to make our choices. We have to choose one or the other.
Yeah, and it's really paradoxical because giving up everything for the sake of your inner direction is actually to let some huge power flow through you that could make things a lot better.
I agree.
Thanks for letting me hold you over. I appreciate it. And hope we haven't taken too much of your schedule.
No, thank you guys very much. And I'm sure we'll talk again soon down the road.
I hope so. Have a good rest of the day. Okay. See ya.